SportsRoutes High School Showcase is brought to you by Sleeves. Show off your style on the field, in the gym, or anywhere in Sleeves accessories and wear. Use our code SportsRoutes1 for 25% off your first order. Look good, play good, and be seen up. My name is Pablo Rosero. This is SportsRoutes High School Showcase. My guest today is Anderson High School Class of 2021 linebacker Aidan Thompson. Aidan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So, Aidan, right now you were recently offered your second college offer from Grinnell College, and you had another offer from Carleton. What's the recruiting process been like for you, and what's it mean to have these offers to solidify your play on the field?
So far I've been contacted by a couple schools, and Carleton and Grinnell reached out to me a couple months ago, and really they're like top tier schools. Both of them are top 10 small liberal arts colleges. So they needed to send my grades and my stuff to admissions before actually making sure uh, before offering me. So they did all that. That's why it took a little while. I've had a couple of the schools reach out to me. It's been going pretty good. We'll see where it goes in the summer, and hopefully throughout next season, next fall, maybe spring. Who knows? And I feel like these offers are going to give me some confidence, definitely when I'm playing. It might, hopefully, when other people on other teams hear that I have offers, they might feel a little scared. That'll help me out a little bit. But yeah, definitely the confidence is a huge thing.
What other schools have talked to you lately, or at
So
all?
earlier this spring, I was talking to Columbia for a little bit up in New York, and Davidson reached out to me. I sent him my grades. I was talking to Trinity down in San Antonio. I sent them my grades too. Haven't heard anything back yet, but they're probably dealing with a lot right now. So we'll see how it goes.
What are you looking for in the process of when it finally comes time to pick a school or talking to these schools? Are you looking for the best opportunity on the football field or in the classroom, or a good balance between the two of them?
So I'm definitely looking between a good balance. I I really right now probably the top thing for me is the town where it is. I want to be at a place that I want to go to. I don't really want to go to a school just to play football and be miserable when I'm doing anything else other than football. So I'm looking for a good place to live. And the school caliber is definitely top on the list. Like right now, going to Carleton to play football would set me for life because they're an amazing school. Same thing with Grinnell. So hopefully those top tier academic schools will keep talking to me so
Yeah.
you can get a good education.
So obviously we're talking because you play football, and you play football in a state where high school football is second to none. What's it like playing high school football in the state of Texas, and you've played there your whole life? What's that like?
So it's definitely been a challenge, especially in Austin. Throughout my entire life, I've had to deal with schools like Westlake, like Travis, teams that are competing for a state title every year. Through Pop Warner, I've had to play them. It's been a challenge, especially these past 2 years being in the same district as Westlake and Lake Travis and other schools like Bowie and Austin High.
Yeah.
Great schools to play football against. So it's hard. It's definitely very hard. And this year, even getting moved down to 5A, we're not gonna have to deal with Westlake and Lake Travis. But now I got more schools like Cedar Park, Georgetown, and Manor that are still great schools. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we can tough it out.
To you, what are the advantages of being able to grow up in this area with this amount of talent, these great caliber of schools, and seeing not only where you're at, but where your team is at?
So I think an advantage is a lot of coaches look for Texas players because they know the competition here is hard. They know the schools are huge. So like starting on a Texas high school football team is not an easy thing to do. There's great kids everywhere that want to play just as much as everyone else. And so it's good for that aspect. The problem is the other thing coaches look for is the success in a team. And so it's hard for a team to be successful living in a place like Texas. Definitely the more success the team gets, the more notice those individual players on the team gets. Like if you look at McCallum a few years ago when they made their run to the state semis, there was a lot of kids on that team that went to play at the next level. But so far they haven't gotten nearly that amount since, because they haven't been doing it as well.
Yeah, and so now we'll transition to Anderson High School. What was your junior year like for you, being an upperclassman at that point, and helping you transition into your senior year, where you'll undoubtedly be more of a leader and one of the upper guys?
So junior year was definitely a lot of fun. I've never had that much success like as a team in really my whole life. We had a great season, even against definitely one of the hardest districts in Texas. And so setting it up for the senior year, it's going to give a team a boost of confidence just because of the success of last year's team. But we can't get too confident, even though we're moving down to 5A, because those teams are still good. I mean, they're not West, but they're still great. So we gotta keep up the same intensity. We gotta.
What are some of the things you're looking forward to improving in your game from your junior to your senior year?
So I'm definitely looking forward to improving on, first of all, my stats. I mean, my stats were pretty good my junior year, but my senior year, I feel like in order to get more noticed, I need a big improvement on them. And in order to do that, I need to get stronger, faster, all that. We're running a new defense, which we've ran before, but it wasn't our base defense. And so that could set us up really well, or it could turn out to not be so great. So we got to keep learning, watching film, studying our game as well as the game of other teams that we're playing. We really need to improve on our team mentality. We lost a lot of seniors that me and my class were really close with. So in order to get better, we need to get that same connection with the grades below us.
Is there any guy that you're looking forward to playing with that's coming in either as a freshman or moving up from JV to varsity, or just a guy that you've seen made a huge leap from last season to this upcoming season?
Yeah, there are a lot. On the offensive side, I know I don't play offense, but I'm really looking forward to watching Fred Dale play. He came in last year as a freshman and had to start against Lake Travis, and the growth that you get between your freshman and your sophomore year is huge, or at least it was for me. So Fred needs to capitalize on that in order to, he's going to be a big playmaker for us. Another player is Adam Fulmer. Adam actually played offense all of last year. Up until the last game, he was a running back, like his older brother Coy, and he was moved to corner. And so far, he's been doing really well. He's probably one of the most athletic team, but he definitely needs to improve his game. And I think if he does, he could be one of the best corners in our division. Another one is Patrick Wynn. Patrick is incoming senior. He was on JV last year, but he has a great mentality. He's going to be super dominant if he gets stronger and faster. And I can't wait to watch him play. I really hope he succeeds.
What's been some of the issues of not being able to practice as a team right now with everything that's been going on with coronavirus and just the worries of that?
So it definitely hurts us as a team because we're not getting this time to come together and really get our stuff like locked in, get those connections down, make those friendships. It's also hard as a leader, from a leader standpoint, especially for me and my other captain, Kelby Hickerson, because we know that we're going to be putting in the work and we're going to be working hard because this is our senior season and we don't want to waste it. But we don't know about those other guys that are just, they could just be sitting at their house saying, oh, like, this isn't going to be my last year. Like, I don't need to put in that much effort. Like, nothing's going on right now. I can just sit at home and play video games. And so that really worries us because we don't know what those guys are doing. I mean, we can try to get them to motivate them to work out, but it's not like we're going to be watching them 24/7 because we're not seeing them right now.
So what is there anything you guys are doing to kind of do team bonding or watching film together, like doing Zoom calls once or twice a week or anything like that?
Yeah, so recently we had workouts. They were social distance. They were shut down. We were playing 7-on-7 up at the field, but it's been really hard because AISD actually closed all the fields, so we're not allowed up there anymore. And so it's been really hard to get together as a team because we don't have a place to get together other than the place AISD gives. So right now we're just encouraging people, trying to get them to get in the film, watch the film, just improve their football game in their minds before, because right now it's really going to be really hard to improve their football game in their bodies.
Yeah. And then film is one of the most important aspects of the game. As physical of a game as this is, the mental aspect of it is right up there with being physically capable. How do you dive into film and break down not just your opponent, but yourself and your teammates when you're watching it?
So first I look into the practice film. We film our own practices. And so we install special defenses for that week based on what the other team does. And so it gets a little hectic getting up towards game time to get all that stuff down and get it right in our minds, because you can't build up that muscle memory right there. But you go through film, you watch yourself in practice, you watch other people during practice, you try to help your backups know what they need to do in practice. And then that way, once we get into the other team's game film, we can already have ourselves envisioned in our practice film. We can implement that into what we need to do to stop them.
What's the importance of envisioning what you practice and how that translates to the actual game?
It's very important because if you don't know what we're practicing, then knowing what the other team is going to do isn't going to help you, because you need to know what everybody's going to do. So if you know what entirely the other team's like plays, like their tendencies, everything, and you can predict a play before it's happening, you still won't be able to stop them because you're going to be doing what you need to do instead of what the team needs. And so you got to focus on what coach told you to do and fill in whatever you need to do your own job. Because if you don't do your job, you're doing someone else's job, which means nobody's doing your job, which means that's an advantage for the other team.
Spoken like a true leader. And so let me ask you this. What are Aidan Thompson's expectations for his senior season for him and for Anderson High School?
My expectations is to be great, to do great. I'm not worried about all the accolades. I want my team to succeed as much as I want to succeed. And I want to be great, but I want those around me to be great, and I want us to succeed. But it all starts with one game at a time. So I can't come out here and say we're going to go undefeated when we got to worry about the first game that we're playing, because if we don't win that game, we can't go undefeated.
Who's the first team you guys play this year?
We're playing McCallum.
McCallum? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to ask you this. You're a big football guy, I'm sure. Is there any guy that you watch and you not just try to shadow his game, but see the way he prepares, see the way that he gets himself ready, and try to mimic, like at any level, at the pro level, college, or even at a high school level?
So Vander Esch for the Cowboys is definitely a big one for me. I really like how he plays. He comes downhill hard. It's definitely mentoring under Sean Lee has been great for him. He can just stay out of injury. But he's a great guy. Watching him play is awesome, and I'm a huge Cowboys fan. So every time he's on the field, I watch him all the time. There's another player. he wasn't a great player, but he was a senior when I was a sophomore at Rios, and he didn't get a lot of playing time, but his mentality was better than any other mentality I've ever seen before. He rarely got in the field, but he was always hyped. He was always prepared. He never did anything wrong. And as soon as he got that moment to be on the field, he capitalized on it every time. And so he's definitely someone I look up to.
That's important to have people that you see and you want to follow in their footsteps. And so to wrap this up, I want to ask if you had to give a scouting report on yourself on the field as a player, off the field as a student and as a person, and in the classroom, what would you say about yourself?
I would say that I'm one of the most hardest working guys that you're going to see. Um, I I see this in myself. Sometimes my dad sees it in myself a lot, and I apply it to everything I do, to my grades, to my sports, even to jobs I have outside of school. I notice myself working extremely hard, even though I don't need to, like at Domino's making pizza. Um, so I really strive to always work hard. I know I'm not going to do everything perfectly. I know I'm not the biggest and the fastest and the strongest, but believe me, I'll work hard enough to try to be the biggest and fastest and strongest.
That's a great mentality to have, and clearly it's paying off for you. A starter at Anderson High School, a captain, and with 2 college offers. Aidan, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what you do this season.
Thank you so much.
For more content like this, like and subscribe to our channel below.